Good day, I'd like to introduce you today to some fun facts about the Pyramid of Khufu. I hope you like this video. As we tour around the Khufu Pyramid, before we enter the pyramid I would like to go over a few interesting facts. As we tour around the pyramid, I just want you to marvel at the sheer size of it. It's almost hard to imagine it when I talk about facts and figures, but when you're here in person, the sheer magnitude of the pyramid just looks incredible. The Great Pyramid, the largest of the three main pyramids at Giza, was built by Khufu and rises to a height of 146 metres or 481 feet. Humans constructed nothing taller than the Great Pyramid until 1221 CE, when the steeple of Old St Paul's Cathedral was built in London and at 149 metres or 489 feet surpassed it, at least until the steeple collapsed less than 350 years later. It's not just the height that is impressive, but also the precision with which the Great Pyramid was designed and executed. With a base length of more than 230 metres, 750 feet per side, the greatest difference in length among the four sides of the pyramids is a mere 4.4 centimetres or 1 3/4 of an inch, and the base is level within 2.1 centimetres, less than an inch. This is an astonishing accomplishment that would be a challenge to replicate today, even with modern equipment.
But here, what does it have?
The Great Pyramid of Giza, also called the Great Pyramid and the Great Pyramid of Khufu, ancient Egyptian pyramid that is the largest of the three pyramids of Giza. It was built to honour Khufu, the second king of Egypt's 4th dynasty, and was completed about 2560 BCE. The Great Pyramid is the only one of the 7 wonders of the world left standing today. It is a wonder mainly because of its scale and because of the incredible precision with which the work was executed. It is assumed to be the burial place of Khufu, but only an empty sarcophagus has been found inside. The giant, steep sides were originally covered with highly polished limestone casing stones. When in place, these stones, weighing some 15 tons apiece and slotted together with unerring accuracy, would have lent sheen to the structure in the sun. Some Egyptologists believe that the pinnacle of the structure may have been gilded. Inside the pyramid are the king's chamber, which contained a huge granite sarcophagus, and the smaller queen's chamber, which features a large angular doorway or niche. There are 2 narrow shafts about 8 inches or 20 centimetres wide, extending from the chamber towards the outer surface of the pyramid. The other main features of the Great Pyramid are the Grand Gallery, ascending and descending passages, and the lowest part of the structure, sometimes dubbed the unfinished chamber. The pyramid contains an estimated 2.3 million blocks, some of which are upwards of 50 tons. Like the pyramids built by his predecessor, Sneferu, and those that followed on the Giza Plateau, Khufu's pyramid is constructed of inner, rough-hewn, locally quarried core stones, which is all that we see today, and angled outer casing blocks laid in even horizontal courses with spaces filled with gypsum plaster. The fine outer casing stones, which have long since been removed, were laid with great precision. These blocks of white Jura limestone would have given the pyramid a smooth surface and been quite bright and reflective. At the very top of the pyramid would have sat a capstone, known as a pyramidion, that may have been covered in gold. This dazzling point, shining in the intense sunlight, would have been visible for a great distance. The interior chambers and passageways of Khufu's pyramid are unique and include a number of enigmatic features. There is an unfinished subterranean chamber whose function is mysterious, as well as a number of so-called air shafts that radiate out from the upper chambers. These have been explored using small robots, but a series of blocking stones have obscured the passages. When entering the pyramid, one has to crawl up a cramped ascending chamber that opens suddenly into a stunning space known as the Grand Gallery. This corbelled passage soars to a height of 8.74 metres or 26 feet and leads up to the King's Chamber, which is constructed entirely from red granite brought from the southern quarries at Aswan. Above the King's Chamber are 5 stress-relieving chambers of massive granite blocks topped with immense cantilevered slabs, forming a pent roof to distribute the weight of the mountain and masonry above it. The King's sarcophagus, also carved from red granite, sits empty at the exact central axis of the pyramid. This burial chamber was sealed with a series of massive granite blocks and the entrance to the shaft filled with limestone in an effort to obscure the opening. Boats for the afterlife. Khufu's mortuary complex also included 7 large boat pits. 5 of these are located to the east of the pyramid and were a sort of model. These brick-lined boat-shaped elements were probably intended for use in the afterlife to transport the king to stellar destinations. Boat burials of this type had a long history in royal mortuary context. A fleet of 14 such pits with actual wooden boats averaging 18 to 19 metres or 60 feet in length, encased inside, were discovered at a Dynasty I mortuary enclosure in Abydos cemetery of Egypt's earliest kings. Often, however, as with Khufu, the pits were simply boat-shaped models rather than containing actual boats. In addition to his boat pits, however, on the south side of the pyramid, Khufu had 2 massive, regular stone-lined pits that contained completely disassembled boats. One of these had been removed and reconstructed. This cedar boat measures 43.3 metres or 142 feet in length and was constructed of 1,224 separate pieces of wood stitched together with ropes. These boats appear to have been used for the last earthly voyage of the king, his funerary procession, before being dismantled and interred.
agora sul!
As we enter the pyramid, I want you to see just how much of a workout it really is actually getting up to the burial chamber. You can actually hear people being exhausted, and I believe some people didn't even make it all the way up there. Contrary to popular opinion, archaeologists and historians believe that the Great Pyramid and other pyramids at Giza were built by paid labourers rather than enslaved people, as the remains of deceased builders were found in a burial place of honour near the pyramids.